Hello Virgo, thanks for joining me. Let's have a tarot reading for you guys. We'll do 5 cards this time. We're going to go into a bit more depth than I usually do because I've been thinking about it, and spiritual wisdom is spiritual wisdom. I doubt if I can do full justice to it in half an hour, but maybe the days of 10 minutes, 15 minutes need to pass, because that just isn't enough attention to detail, really, is it? So here we go, reading for Virgo. I'm using Tarot in Wonderland, which I haven't used for a little while, but it's a very popular deck and I love it actually. The images take me very, very deeply into the truth of whatever I'm talking about. And by the way, guys, do please leave me a comment and tell me how you feel about these cards, how you feel about these readings. It really helps me get zeroed into who I'm doing the readings for. Okay, so let's make a start anyway. We'll do a 5-card spread, and we're going to do some chakra cards as well as we go, just to get a bit of extra meaning for things and a deeper understanding, because that's what we're all after when we come into a tarot reading. Okay, so let's turn one over. And what's the first card in this reading for Virgo? Late February 2020. I'm doing this, but the best time to watch it is right now when you're watching it. And it's the 9 of Wands. This is the first one out of the deck. So, dear me, Virgo, you must be a fair bit tired by now. The cosmic energy is changing all over the world at the moment, and there are big changes coming into everyone's life. Many of us are finding it hard to sleep, and we kind of expect that around astrological times like a full moon or a new moon, which we just had the other weekend as I'm doing this. So it's kind of been difficult to sleep for a lot of people anyway, but people are actually saying that's the case most of the time these days, and the energies kind of build us up and mess us about a fair bit, I have to say, and then they back off a bit and things don't change too much, but we have to learn to live with these new energies. They never actually go away, and then as soon as we're used to that, they find another new way of working with us. So I can understand if you're feeling tired, Virgo, and this card says you almost certainly do. For absolute certainty, one way or the other, if it's not that you're feeling tired, you've been doing a lot of work, and you must be a bit of a superhuman if you're not feeling tired at this point in time, actually. But the 9 of Wands shows that lots of work has been done, and it's been very positive work, and it's been taking you in a very positive direction. But there's one last stand to make, and that is what the character is doing in this card. He is actually one of the Tweedledum and Tweedledee brothers. I'm not sure which one. I guess it doesn't matter too much which one. But it's that number 9, you know. The Wands is all about getting things done. It's fire sign energy. So Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. What do those people mean to you? What role do they play in your life, Virgo? Or what actually do they mean to you in your birth chart as well? That's something worth thinking about. I won't make my birth chart speech except to say get one done if you haven't already. They're free from websites, quite easy to get, and they tend to be very accurate. You know, it's not something you need a specific astrologer to do for you, because they are statistical, and the most important interpretation of any reading actually, but particularly a birth chart, is the interpretation you place on it. So here we go, 9 of Swords, and no, it's not, is it? It's the 9 of Wands, silly me. 9 of Wands, but there is a very, very clear sky above this character. It's not a terribly blue sky, and we've got some purple mountains in the background. I think there's just one more mountain to climb, Virgo, before we reach completion of the cycle we're in at the moment. Let me reach for the chakra cards now. These are by Rachel Sharman. I'll show you the box they came in. There you go. That's the thing to look out for if you like these cards. And they work on the 9 chakra system. So there's the 7 chakras we know and love: the base, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart. It just has one colour green for the heart in this deck, even though we think of it as green and pink for lower and higher heart. Then, of course, turquoise for the throat, purple, indigo purple, really, for the third eye, which is always looking inwards. If we get one of those, you've got to look inside yourself. And nice purple colour for the actual crown chakra. And then as well as all those ones, it starts with the Earth Star chakra below your feet in the wonderful Earth. And the highest chakra in this deck is actually the Stargate chakra, where we start to work with the wider universe and all those powerful energies that come in. Okay, so that's my chakra card speech done. Let's shuffle these and say, tell us more, please, about the Nine of Wands in this reading for the sign of Virgo, which I'm doing late February 2020, but which is for you to watch whenever you're ready, basically. Tell us more, please, about the Nine of Wands in this reading for the sign of Virgo. And what have we got? Let's turn one over. Oh, this is a pretty one. First one out of the deck, listening. Okay, now look at all the fantastic colours there. It sort of goes with the tiredness of the Nine of Wands, because I feel exhausted just looking at that. But at the same time, there is something very uplifting about those colours. Now, it's the turquoise colour, so we're very much in the throat chakra here. Okay, a lot of speaking your truth needs to happen. And how does that relate to listening? It relates very closely to listening, because it's only when you're actually speaking your truth that you start getting the reactions and the answers that are truly appropriate and truly fit with your truth. So that's why it's so important. So do listen at this point, but do speak your truth as well, because it's a very multicoloured thing, the dream that we all aspire to. And whatever's coming up in the rest of this reading is going to be a very multifaceted, a multi-sided, many-sided kind of situation that we're talking about here. But we're right at the beginning. There is that one last stand to make. So let's just show those two together, actually. There we go. Listening. And that actually is going to involve many of the chakras, because you just got to listen to the rhythm of life, really. And we feel that in all the chakras somewhere or other. And the Nine of Wands there. Okay, so time to move on. And ask the Tarot in Wonderland deck for another card for the sign of Virgo. Card number 2 in this 5-card spread for Virgo. What have we got for card number 2, please? Okay, we'll turn one over. And here we are. It is number 11, and it's the Justice card there that has come out. So we've got the King and Queen of Hearts there, who don't appear to be making tarts at this exact moment, but that is a thing with them, I'm told. Now, it's number 11 in the major arcana, and it's actually Libran energy that's indicated by this card. Being number 11 in the major arcane, it's not really the beginning of the journey, it's not really the end of the journey. Even though it's card number 2 in this spread, you've already done all that work that we've seen in the Nine of Wands. So we are quite a long way through the journey of whatever is going on with you guys at the moment. Okay, now when this card comes up, it has more really to do with judgment than justice. If we look at it in today's terms, the tarot is kind of something that started off in the 15th century, and I must soon actually do a reading with the Mantegna, which is a 15th century deck. Well, it's a reprint. I haven't got one that old. It was quite cheap. Well, it was free actually. Someone gave it to me. But a very, very ancient wisdom with the tarot. So the thought of justice is more to do with what we would call judgment these days. Now, this really depends where you are and how you actually feel about it, Virgo. If you're in a situation where you're waiting for someone else to judge you, then you've got to kind of just abandon yourself to that, really, because there isn't much you can do. And after the Nine of Wands, you are going to be pushed into some kind of action. And so whatever that action is going to be is just going to have to be allowed to reveal itself with time. And there's always plenty of time, thank goodness. But if you're called to judge over something, then you've got a decision to make. Do you want to treat others as you would like to be treated yourself? Do you want to be lenient? Or do you, as the book for this says, do you want your pound of flesh? Do you want full revenge and kind of, that kind of justice? If I was you, I'd be lenient. I'd treat others the way you'd like to be treated yourself. That's the best way to build up really good karma going forward. And we are going forward, Virgo. We really are. So justice there. Number 11 in the major arcana, Libran energy. Okay, so, well, with the sign of Libra, obviously, there's a call for balance there. And you must decide how you want to balance the thing. Okay, it's entirely up to you. But well into the journey there, 9 of Wands, really showing that there's not that much further to go before you can begin to breathe again in a nice sort of relaxed way and begin to take life as it comes again. But something happening there with justice, and only you know exactly what that's about or where it's going. So let's do a chakra card for number 11, Justice. I'm going to shuffle and say, tell me more, please, about number 11, the Justice card in this reading for the sign of Virgo. Tell me more about the Justice card, please. And we'll turn one over, and here it is, Universal Light. Now then, that's a rather lovely thought, isn't it? And we're actually right up into the solar plexus chakra here, thinking about self-mastery in a lot of ways, individual strength and our individual way to affect the world, okay? How do we actually use our personal power? Because it's the personal power chakra that we're really dealing with the solar plexus. And if we look to the image on it, it looks rather like the Ace of Swords, that to me. So we've got the moon there and that amazing shaft of light coming out of a big blast of light. And that's what really needs to happen with the Justice card. We need light to come in. We either need to be judged in the light of truth, or we need to judge others in the light of truth. And to do it with the light of kind of a friendliness towards life and a friendliness towards the universe. It shows us plenty, let's face it, it gave us our life. So answer that beauty of the universe in whatever way you can when you get to this situation where you're being asked either to make a judgment or to sit and be judged by others. We'll see which way it goes, eh? And do leave me a comment. I keep saying it, but it really helps me zero in to know how I'm doing with these readings. And, you know, to know how they actually affect people. And I can also get close to the heart of who we are, because we're a kind of soul family, you know. If you watch readings regularly with any reader on YouTube, you sort of become part of the soul family of the people that hang out with that reader, you know. So it is an important connection for all of us that we're dealing with here. Okay, we need to come on to the heart of the matter now and ask for card number 3 of what's going to be a 5-card reading for the sign of Virgo. Now, there are over 600 readings on my channel at the moment, about 660-ish the last time I looked. And it doesn't really have to be a reading specifically for you or your star sign for it to make sense to you. So do subscribe, tap the bell so you don't miss anything, and take a look through the videos on my channel. There are absolutely loads of them on there, and I make them all for you, and whatever sign, whatever date is on them, if you're drawn to it, that's the moment to actually watch that video. So please go and enjoy those. That's why I make them for you. Okay. So what is the middle card in this spread for the sign of Virgo? Let's find out. Okay, let's turn that top one over. Ooh, now it's the Hanged Man. There we are. This goes very well hand in hand with the Justice card, actually, because Justice is number 11, and this one is actually 12 here. So very much the energy of the journey that's going on, you know. We've kind of skipped from the 9 of Wands to the 11 of Justice, but we've gone straight on to the 12 of the Hanged Man. Now, you may need to stand out from the crowd. That might very well be what this card is telling you, Virgo. You really might have to stand out from the crowd and do things differently. What's basically happening is new energy is coming in, and this is where you have to be an individual, okay? This is really, really about you personally, and I can't emphasize that enough. Now, it doesn't seem like making great progress when we look at the Hanged Man here, but he is actually drinking a cup of tea there. Can you see it? I don't know how it hasn't just splashed all over his hat, but he's drinking a cup of tea somehow, alchemically, no doubt, and he's got a slice of toast. So that's showing sustenance. That's showing that the flow of abundance doesn't have to stop just because you're hanging about, so to speak. It's a definite stop and think, And this really is the heart of the matter, being card number 3 in this reading. So I guess there's some of this going on at the moment, Virgo, and the thing to do really is just give in to that, wait around a bit, and be willing to drink of the new knowledge, whatever that new knowledge is that's coming into you. Righty tighty. Let's get the chakra deck out again. I really enjoy using this chakra deck, actually. It's so deep and carries a great deal of meaning with it. So I say, tell us more, please, about number 12, the Hanged Man, at the heart of the matter for Virgo in this reading. Tell us more, please, about the Hanged Man. And we'll turn one over, and what we've got is number 6, balance. And this is in the root chakra, the base chakra, okay? The chakra that's right at the base of the spine here. And as you can see, it's a rather beautiful, rather gorgeous yin-yang pattern that's going on there. Now, that is one of my, well, it's just about my favourite symbol of anything, actually, because the universe is always trying to balance itself. And if we look back to the first card in this reading, the 9 of Wands, that last stand needs to be made, really, to bring things into balance. Justice with the Libra associations, obviously that's got to do with balance. The Hanged Man is hanging about so that he, or rather you, Virgo, can actually take the time to think about what's coming into you, to assimilate all that new knowledge, to decide which way you actually want to go with it. And I strongly suggest that in terms of the Hanged Man, you wait until you feel comfortable before you stop hanging about and get on to the next stage. Okay, there is a journey going on here, and in lots of ways it's going to wait for nobody. But the most important thing really in terms of what the base chakra is all about, money, safety and security, it's important to have those feelings in order to just be at one with ourselves and to feel comfortable with life and where we're going. And yeah, balance is really where it's at. Balance is really what it needs. Okay, so think of that as the yin-yang, but look at the beautiful light that's involved with it as well. That is the beauty of the yin-yang, and that is the beauty of balance, actually. It really brings a lot of light in because it really allows us to get on with our journey in the most positive way imaginable. Okay, so back to the tarot now, because we want to move on and have a look at card number 4. See what card number 4 is going to be and where that's taken us, Virgo. Okay, so let's have card number 4 in this reading for the sign of Virgo, please. Card number 4 in this reading for the sign of Virgo. Okay, so we'll turn over the top one now, and it's the 10 of Cups. Now, this is really beautiful. It's a card that a lot of people would like to see as an outcome card in any reading, and we're not quite at the outcome yet, but we are past the Hanged Man, we're past the heart of the matter, so we really are moving forwards in a very positive way as we look at this, because the 10 cups on the wall would appear to be full cups. We can't see inside them. That if you're a glass half full or a glass half empty person, particularly let's think of this as being a cup half full, then this card is all about the fullness of life and things working out. You could say this couple are happy ever after. They're the king and queen of the same suit, and they're actually wearing the same clothes there. So how positive is that, Virgo? Now, this is water sign energy going on here, okay? Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces. Those people around you, if you're in a relationship, is he or she a Cancer, a Scorpio or a Pisces? It's looking pretty good for your relationship if they are. But it's water sign energy, it's fluid, you know, and there's a lot to do with our longings and desires in those full cups. They're not half full, really, I was just saying that. They're really full, the way this card looks. Now, the clouds are not exactly in a straight line there, and usually in tarot, when something appears to be slanted, we say there's kind of a bit of a trick going on. This actually looks like a very, very calm way of being slanted, though. So that's just adding a bit of spice to life as far as I can see. And the base of all these clouds is a nice, healthy red, almost a pink. So there we've got the higher heart chakra in tune with the base chakra and with that sense of balance. They've got great balance between them, these two. They seem to be getting on so well. And yeah, it's that wonderful feeling you get with the Ten of Cups that everything is going to be happy ever after. Now, of course, that's a wonderful end to any kind of fairy tale, isn't it? And that's what we're all hoping for in our relationships. But as we know, once we get into that dream relationship and once things are really flowing and the love is good, we need to be able to work together, don't we, for that relationship to actually be super positive and to really go the distance and to actually last long into the future, because that's all part of the comfort and the joy of the Ten of Cups and the happy ever after thing. So how are we going to work together, guys? That's a question that we need to ask, okay? And things really are up in the air a little bit there. Even though it's water sign energy, I'm seeing a little bit of air sign energy around that as well, just in the way I'm talking to my spirit guides as I do this, and just as things are flowing. Okay, so I'm with the chakra deck now. Let's turn one over saying, tell us more please about the Ten of Cups. Now here we go. This is fantastic. Now this is the Stargate chakra level here. It's number 29 in the deck, and it's spiritual awakening. Now then, that is going to be a wonderful thing to go with the Ten of Cups, because if the happy ever after involves a true spiritual awakening, like this is showing it really does, then how positive is that, guys? That's wonderful. That is actually going to last. Now we've got the pure gold of the sunshine blazing out of this person's head here, and things are looking so positive indeed for this character. And can you see that the character is a bit of a kind of an outline, really, because when that spiritual awakening comes in, everything to do with the worldly body becomes more about the light body, and that spiritually is what we're all about and who we all are. I know many people wouldn't agree with that, but I guess, guys, if you're drawn to watch a tarot reading, at least part of you is thinking that way somewhere along the line. And that pure gold comes in, and it really, really sheds a healing ray, an uplifting ray, just an absolute ray of spiritual light. And you see, when it reaches the center of your mind here, it kind of goes out all over the place like fireworks. So this allows you to spread not just your truth, but your whole vibration. Everything that's positive in your whole vibration is going to reach out, and it's going to link up with the rest of the world. We could think of every one of those shafts of light, those rays of light there, as a connection either to another human being or to another soul, or maybe even to someone else's higher self, because this is actually your higher self coming to life here. And isn't it wonderful when we're in a relationship that actually uplifts our own higher self and becomes a mutual thing, and it uplifts the other person's higher self? That's how the happy ever after can actually happen in the first place, and it's very much how the happy ever after can be a real thing and can come into life. Okay, well, that's great. So what could possibly come after the happy ever after? That's only card number 4 of the tarot reading, and there is a 5th one to come, and then another chakra card, and we'll take a look at Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light deck as well, and see what that can tell us about that about this reading as well. That is this one. I'll be working with this one very shortly in a couple of minutes' time, so keep it here. Don't touch that mouse. I was going to say don't touch that dial. That's from my radio days, but I wasn't able to do tarot on the radio. It was much too, supposedly much too serious, and we had to stay bogged down in worldly things. But don't touch that mouse. Stay on this video, because we haven't come to the end yet, okay? We're coming up to card number 5, so I'm saying to my guides and asking from this tarot deck, Tarot in Wonderland, please let's have the outcome card in this reading for the sign of Virgo. The outcome card, please, in this reading for the sign of Virgo. Oh, I've dropped it. Okay, let's pick it up, and it is the Ace of Wands. Now, this is so alchemical. This is wonderful, and it comes really. It's really nice to get that. To get this one just after that one we've just had, the Spiritual Awakening card. It leads on very nicely from it. because it's that spiritual awakening. Can you see all the light there? And we've got the light in the candle here on the Ace of, what is it, the Ace of Wands. Being a wand card, this means actually getting things done. And it's fire sign energy again, guys. Leo, Sagittarius and Aries around you in your birth chart, in your world, but definitely happening. Definitely adding into the making sense of things feelings that we've got here. And this is great because the happy ever after just goes on and on, making more and more light. Now we've got a spiritual light here. You could see this as a spiritual hand bringing the wand in to help, or you could see this as the 10th wand after we've had the 9 of Wands at the beginning of the reading. It's a wonderful sense of completion actually to get that extra wand that's showing there, because that is going to bring it to 10. That is going to make it mightily real, and the possibilities are just fantastic when you get the Ace of Wands like this. Okay, alchemy, it's something that very few people believe in, and yet when we live the spiritual life, or at least when we have that affirmation of wanting to live the spiritual life, then really alchemy is all everything it's about. And of course I'm not talking about making gold out of a rusty old nut and bolt or something, but true spiritual alchemy is actually a lot more powerful than that. It brings more than gold can ever bring, because gold, someone could steal it, it's a wonderful thing, but gold is soft and bendy. It's not all that durable, unless it's part of a computer and they put it on very thinly plated onto some other metal. It's not all that strong by itself. It's just worth a lot of money. And spiritual progress is worth more than money, because you can always attract abundance to yourself when you're growing spiritually and when you're in tune with that. Okay, so let us see what the chakra cards have to tell us about the Ace of Wands, the outcome card in this reading for the sign of Virgo. Let's see what we've got. So I'll turn over the top one. And here we are. Right, balance showing everywhere again, really, because this is Angels and Masters. It is number 33, that most magical, almost most magical of numbers, isn't it? 33. This is the 33rd degree of whatever's going on here. Okay, now it's solar plexus chakra energy again. It's a lot to do with personal power, and that's what really needs to come into being for the Ace of Wands alchemy to work. So it goes with it very well. See those chakras all in a nice straight line. There are we are just looking at the 7 chakras of the body here. They link up, of course, to the Stargate chakra at soul level. They link up, of course, to the magic of the earth, again at soul level. That's the wonderful thing about where we stand. We're in between the amazing universe and the beautiful goddess energy of the world that we live in, live on, and work with. This is what we have to work with all the time. And no matter how far we get into spiritual progress, guys, we live we live on this planet. We were put here for spiritual reasons, I'm quite sure. And that's why we're always looking for our twin flame. That's why we always need to have love in life. But look, these chakras are in a beautiful straight line. And if you need to do a chakra meditation and really kind of bring some healing in there, then please do. And if you don't know how to do that, let me tell you, friends, it's as simple as visualize and believe. You just imagine your base chakra being that beautiful ruby red ball, and that it's spinning in the right direction. Now, some say that's clockwise. Well, everyone says it's clockwise when it's going at the chakras spinning in the right direction. But if you were looking at mine now, it'd be spinning anti-clockwise. It'd look as if it was spinning anti-clockwise, even though it was spinning clockwise, really. Just because you're looking at me from that side and I'm looking into the camera from this side. So we're kind of on different sides. This is my left hand I'm holding the card in, for example, which I guess is probably on the right of your screens. I don't really know, actually. I don't know if YouTube flips these things or not. I must check. But there's nothing flipped about the chakras, and as long as they're going the right way, that's the only thing that matters. So just hold that affirmation, hold that intention, I should say, that they are actually spinning the right way, and affirm within your own mind that they're absolutely cleansed and they're absolutely shining. So this one's lovely ruby red. This is a beautiful, warm, shiny amber. This one's really gorgeous yellow. And as we go on, so forth and so on, all the way up the chakras. So they're in a nice straight line, and then we can face the world head on. And when we do that, we can take absolutely anything that the world tries to throw at us, which is wonderful. Okay, so looking through this reading, I'm going to do another couple more cards in a minute. But we started with a 9 of Wands there, so there's that one last stand where we are at the moment, Virgo. There's that one last stand to make to really get into completion, to really get things making sense. Then Justice, where judgment either happens to us or we have to judge others. Basically, we've got to try and do that in the kindest way possible, and hope that any judgment coming to us is done in the kindest way possible. Then the Hanged Man, okay, which feels like a lack of progress, but which actually is just about the best kind of progress there is when you think about it. Because the Hanged Man means that energies are changing, and we need to kind of be patient, and we need to wait for those energies to take root in our life. 10 of Cups comes in after that. Looks wonderful for relationships, looks wonderful for love, looks really like a twin flame thing going on there. And then as an outcome card, Ace of Wands, the alchemy that binds that twin flame situation into a real thing that you can work with in the world, and the light of which can shine out from you guys into the world and make things real. Okay, Kyle Gray. Let's just do 2 cards out of Kyle Gray at this point and see where we get. Turning over the first one that we've got, and this is a significance for the whole of this reading. Horus, Cosmic Gateway, the amazing Horus from the Egyptian legends. And he says, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Well, isn't that the truth? We've seen that miraculous changes are occurring all the way through this reading, so I'm very glad Horus has come up with that. But the other thing is, your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. So, you know, we create our own truth. Visualize things being good, guys. That's really important. It's so easy to cleanse the chakras if you can just allow yourself to believe that things not just going to be good, but they're going to be that things are good now, and they're going to keep on going in a good, positive way. Okay, and just let's have one more little bit of significatory knowledge here, and I'll turn over another card. And it's Krishna, Lord Krishna, devotion. So that's another spiritual tradition altogether, but it's got the same purple healing colour band at the bottom of it. And Krishna is saying, trust your spiritual guidance, your commitment has been recognised, and you are loved unconditionally. Really, that takes care of the whole of the cosmic side of this reading, doesn't it? And that's a wonderful thing, because what I see all through this reading is showing up on the back of all these Kyle Gray cards. Yeah, they're all about light activation, really. It's about keeping the light, but keeping the light means allowing it to shine. And you see we've got the Vesica Pisces here, 2 rings, one over the other, and it's created a space in the middle through which your dreams can be birthed, not just into the earth, but into the whole universe, because that is what the whole world is all about. Well, Virgo, thank you very much. I hope you found this a blessed reading. I feel blessed to have done it for you. Do leave me a comment so I can zero in with you guys. Subscribe, tap the bell to receive all notifications. Check out my channel, there's loads going on there. And, you know, thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed this one. Now then, if you have a look underneath, there are links to all good things underneath in the description here. There's my Facebook link, there's my Twitter link, so kind of join those communities if you will, absolutely free of charge. Check out my Patreon page as well, that's free to look at. Why ever not? There's a link to Patreon down there, and there's also my email address, 35and83@gmail.com. That's 35and83@gmail.com if you would like to have a personal tarot reading done, I'd be more than happy to do that. I do ask for a small fee, but I've got to pay the bills and buy cameras and stuff. Okay, so check out the links below anyway. Thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. It's a real privilege for me to be able to read for you. I'll be along again with more very soon. So have a blessed time ahead. Have a blessed journey. It's looking wonderful. And I'll be back with more for Virgo very soon indeed. Peace.